Hello, every honey.
Hello honeys, I've collected all 20 exclusive Dolly Devil Coords featuring the mobile game Aikatsu Photo on stage, and I put them all together for you. Enjoy! 20 Pink Devil Striped. Even though Pink Devil Striped is at the bottom of my list, I still find it to be very cohesive. I think the knit texture is a little flat and could have used extra shading, and the glove gradients are a bit out of place, but I generally appreciate the novelty of those elements. With a little more depth to the lighting, I probably would have liked it a lot more. 19 Pink Ribbon Yukata. I only have one major criticism for Pink Ribbon Yukata, and that's a missed opportunity to put the leopard print of the stockings into the mesh of the bodice. My brain really wants those two sheer sections to match, because otherwise I think this design has a great mix of textures. Maybe the bodice mesh could have been trimmed in gold rather than black too for extra cohesion. 18 Purple Ribbon Yukata. Purple Ribbon Yukata doesn't do any better on those criticisms, but the striped stockings don't stand out quite as much to me. The monochromatic purple palette is objectively less interesting than the pink accents, but since it smooths out my main complaints, I find it more satisfying. 17 Pop-Up Border Ribbon. I was very torn on Pop-Up Border Ribbon. On its own, I think I really liked this design, but in the context of the list, it just wasn't sitting right. The clean lines of the top are a great contrast to the organic ruffles of the skirt, but they don't quite match the intricate style of the brand. I can sense the faintest hint of steampunk in the top. 16 Vivid Leopard. Vivid Leopard got a higher place despite going for a more 80s inspired look because it has essentially the same visual language as its more modern counterparts. The flat textures and asymmetrical top make it feel more retro, but the colors, patterns, ruffles, and jewelry are all correct. It's kind of fun to see this 2000s aesthetic go back in time a couple decades. 15 Cute Zebra. Same logic for Cute Zebra. I just enjoyed the slightly darker palette more. This one does feel a little more modern, getting closer to a 90s style, but not quite there yet. It feels very handmade, which is another component of fashion from that era. 14 Violet Devil. Violet Devil is definitely 2000s Dolly Devil Agajo. I don't particularly like the white ruffled trim of the skirt, but it does have pretty good visual rhythm with the petal-shaped hemline. It'd be more fair to pick on the isolated purple quilted texture in the top. Regardless, I do have to give it a lot of credit for its complexity. 13 Pink Glamorous. I love the warm black they went with in Pink Glamorous. It's almost a deep brown, which I think works here. I have a problem with the zigzag pattern they chose for the ribbon wrap stockings, plus the proportions of the skirt layers are a bit off, but overall it's fine. It still looks nicely detailed. 12 Purple Devil Striped. Purple Devil Striped is another case where the monochromatic palette soothes all of my problems with the pink version of the design we saw earlier. With less contrast drawing attention to specific focal points, it's way easier to ignore potential flaws. I even like the gradient gloves here. 11 Silky Devil. Although it is pretty messy, Silky Devil has some fun ideas it's exploring. The leopard print fur accents are crazy, but consistent in every piece. The sharp batwing style trim is also very fun and consistent. It's pretty noisy in the bodice and skirt ribbons where a bunch of textures are overlapping, but I like it. 10 Glamorous Party. I would like Glamorous Party a little more without the furry shrug. We could have done a boa instead for a similar visual impact. But the skirt and bodice are over the top in a good way for me. I like how dainty the shoes seem in comparison to the loud, graphic color blocking of the dress. 9 Jewelry Rose. Jewelry Rose is up here because I respect the unique silhouette, asymmetrical stockings, and pretty glitter gradients. I'm not fully convinced by the cravat-esque ruffles on the bodice. It looks like a piece of another dress was cut out and stuck onto this one, but it is interesting and shows some room to experiment within the brand's range. 8 Rose Perfume. Rose Perfume is much more traditional. As a mini cocktail dress, it's playing the silhouette pretty safe, but still achieves some satisfying visual rhythm in the skirt pleating. The tiny hat is very cute, it gives the whole look a more vintage appeal. I could have also used a little more gold, but it's still pretty. 7 Devil Star Girl. We get back to some experimental elements with Devil Star Girl, which is another slightly messy design. I still love the way it balances more theatrical shapes, like the heart-shaped halter neckline, ninja-esque arm warmers, and loud gyaru patterns. It uses its solid pink accents very purposefully to make room for the graphic leopard print and star motifs. 6. Jewelry Devil. I might be biased by Eureka, but Jewelry Devil feels super sleek. The smooth, shiny blue texture is gorgeous, especially paired with the more matte pinks and glittery purples. I like the tiered skirt, it has a very satisfying visual rhythm, and I can almost ignore the open-toe boots. Not quite though. 5. Dream Devil. I may also be biased by Madoka. It was a tough decision to put Dream Devil higher. The more pastel palette is very appealing to me, and I love the mix of pearls and gold chains in the trim. The pleated skirt is a great contrast to the organic draping of the ribbon sash. The swooping shape comes through super cleanly. 4. Purple Glamorous Lace. Purple Glamorous Lace has great contrast and great color blocking. Those zigzag ribbon stockings are back, but here I don't mind them since they're knocked back by their shiny texture and relative lightness compared to the black trim in the dress, which is also that warm black that I liked before. The purple accents are a little loud, but not enough to bother me. 3. Dolly Emerald. I was surprised to like Dolly Emerald this much, but I do love jewel tones and the gold speckled fluffy accents are to die for. I love the matching green shoes, the asymmetrical appliques on the skirt, and the unique bell-shaped silhouette. And that fan is killer, I'm obsessed. 2. Milky Queen Panther. Milky Queen Panther is elite, peak design. I love the white leopard print so much, and the fluffy ribbon headband with mini tiara is everything to me. For such a traditional Aikatsu silhouette, the proportions of the layers have all been fine-tuned perfectly. This is probably one of my favorite designs we've covered so far. 1. Lace-up ribbon. Lace-up ribbon is pure magic to me. I adore the cable knit turtleneck, solid color salopette, and carefully layered textures in the skirt. It feels so elegant and cozy, and textures that I think would usually bother me fit in perfectly in this context. I absolutely love the black stockings and stiletto boots. It's such a unique take on Dolly Devil's key motifs. Let me know your favorite Dolly Devil Photokatsu coords in the comments below, and look out for my performance ranking in a few weeks. Bye bye!
Now, Chris Girls Cup! Let's start!